my God, the Chicago White Sox are in a baseball hell right now. I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago I was talking about how I think that they might end up having the worst season of all time.
Looks like they might.
That they won't make it to 40 wins, which would then, put them at the worst winning percentage of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And they are making a strong claim right now to go out and get that done.
Yeah, a solid 27-84. I said to Nick right before this, imagine if that was flipped and the team was 84-27. You'd be thinking, holy shit, this is the best team I've ever seen in my entire fucking life, and there's still 2 months left of baseball.
Somebody let us know in the comments. Has anyone ever been 84-27 before?
Probably, maybe. Someone let us know if any of those history guys out there. We're not too much history dudes, but that's fucking insane. Now it's the Chicago White Sox on the flip side of things, and what's getting me here too, not only just that record's fucking ass, they're 34 games out of a wild card spot. Dude, it's funny. They're 40 games out of their division lead.
Oh yeah,
that's fucked. Their run differential negative 229. How are you down that bad, bro? Like the worst team other than them, I think, is the Rockies at 175. Like negative 175. That's ass. And then over on the Chicago shit Sox, by the way, we're talking about trade deadlines. One of the biggest losers at the fucking deadline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they barely got any prospects in return. And what they should have done is traded Garret Crochet, maybe Luis Robert Jr., but they didn't do that. I don't know why, if there was like a difference on the price. But for Crochet, you can make a strong argument that it was his whole, I need to be signed to the whatever team trades me or else I'm not going to pitch in the postseason. That apparently pissed off a lot of people, but Crochet doesn't think that was actually the case.
He's doubling down. He is doubling down on that. If you guys weren't familiar with that story, what transpired was prior to the trade deadline, Garret Crochet saying, hey, listen, if I get traded, I need an extension or I'm not playing in the postseason, which, I mean, please let us know your thoughts about that down below. But,
ridiculous.
I mean, I think it's kind of crazy. His whole argument and his reasoning behind it was, I've never pitched this many innings before. Like, if I played in the postseason, that would be the most innings that I've ever pitched, and I'm worried about getting injured, and, if I get injured, then I won't get paid or get extended, which I fully understand, I appreciate, but that is also the risk that you have to take if you are a baseball player. And every single player out there that is not locked down to a 10-year extension is taking that risk every single time they step into the box or step onto the mound or get on the base pass and start running around. Like, every single one of them is taking that risk. To then go out and say that, well, if I get traded, I'm not going to play in the postseason when my team would need me the most, when everybody is counting on me for the sole reason that people traded for me, I'm not going to play in the playoffs unless I get extended. It's ridiculous. That's why nobody traded for him. And then to come out afterwards and then double down on it and say, you know what? I think a lot of people in the industry know where I'm coming from. I think a lot of people do, and they appreciate where you're coming from, but it doesn't make it right. And it doesn't mean that, anyone is going to give you that fucking extension now, because if they do, then they set a terrible, terrible precedent. At the end of the day, you got to go play good baseball. You haven't done enough to warrant saying that, in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing that rubs me wrong is the fact that every single fucking player is playing. Like you said, I'm doubling down on what you're saying because you kind of covered everything right there. Every single fucking player is risking injury. Like that, he says right here, I think it may have come across as greedy to some, like him demanding that, but I think those in the industry realize it's logical to have that line of thinking. Sure, it's logical, but that's not professional baseball.
Yeah.
You're taking the risk. Like, I'm sorry. And the whole thing about innings, too, yes, I know Garret Crochet, and there's people out there that know baseball way better than I do in terms of, like, keeping arm healthy, and especially nowadays when people are throwing upper 100 miles per hour. You really got to be careful of people's arms. But back, like, honestly, even 15 years ago, you saw people throw 130 pitches, 140 pitches. 20 years ago, people throwing 250 innings. I mean, fuck, there was pitchers out there that were throwing upper 90s, throwing 250 innings.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get it. You want to protect yourself. Well, then it's like, I guess it's up to you to kind of protect yourself, because that's the way that we're playing. If everyone started demanding contracts and say, okay, well, I want to protect my arm because, I'm very special and I'm valuable, well, then no one's going to want to fucking sign you because no one's going to have that much money. The Tampa Bay Rays would be out of business. You're going to fucking run those guys out of town. I mean, they're already starting to get out of town, but that's ridiculous.
Well, and let me say this as well. for a team that would be thinking about extending him, well, for me, if I'm the team that, is going to do that, then I kind of want to see you pitch that many innings and not get injured.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know that you actually can do it, because why would I extend you if you can't do that?
I got to shout out Talking Baseball, who, Trevor brought this up, where he was like, or Trevor Plouffe, he was saying, like, well, okay, well, whatever team that goes and gets him, I'm going to offer you a 4-year, $40 million extension, which you will, of course, probably turn down because you think you're worth more than that, and it only covers your RB years, maybe one extra. And then I'm going to go, oh, well, I offered you the extension because that's exactly what he was worth. He's not. That's a safe. I would offer him that extension. Hell yeah, because that's a safe. Because look, you have an injury history. You've only had one season as a starter, and you won't get paid now. Well, that's how much you're worth. It's ridiculous. I think. Speaking of the show title, that is bad for baseball. We cannot let the players, especially pitchers, have that kind of control. Because I'm glad no one traded for him and signed him. Because if they did, that would set the bar now for any pitcher getting traded at the deadline, with any young pitcher getting traded at the deadline.